Hey Tribe, Sally here. Stay tuned for this colorful and delicious salad.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
We're trying this view today, and I started making this salad, and then I thought you guys might want to see it too, so why not show it to you? And if you like this view, actually I like this view a lot. This is a top-down view. I'm using my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the new holder I got for it that has a magnetic back. You can put it into onto a tripod with the 1/4-inch screw thread, and it's also got a GoPro holder thing, so I'll be able to use one holder for pretty much every way that I use a mount. So that's very, very cool. So what are we doing here? We're making salad, guys. This one's going to be something I haven't ever done before, but I'm reaching that point where I'm feeling a craving for vegetables. So I'm basically putting every vegetable I can think of into here, and I'm using sturdy vegetables because they'll last for a while that way. So far I've got a can of black beans and 2 small zucchini cut up there. I got a red bell pepper here. We're cutting that up. This was a kind of a weirdly shaped bell pepper, and I think I'm probably going to end up using 2, so I'll show you the cutting method that I use for bell peppers again when I cut the other one, assuming I'm going to cut the other one. I won't really know until I get this one in and see how much it looks like. This is also an opportunity to use up leftovers. So I've got some red onion that I cut up a few days ago, sliced super thin, and we're going to add that in here as well. Okay. Pardon me. Kit, we are in the quartzite desert, and we do have neighbors that are not terribly far away from us. I don't like the white pithy parts, so I always cut them out. And that's my initial cutting method. Pretty much eliminates ever getting those in. And the way that I do it, you'll notice I didn't have to deal with any of the seeds. And I probably am going to do a second one. Maybe half a second one at least. And boy, it's a toss-up between, I've got yellow and I've got orange. Not sure what color I want to do because I also have carrots and corn that are going in here. Well, these are all kind of oddly shaped. I think we're going to do orange though. And I may only do about half of it if I can get it out of the package. There we go. Okay, so normally, they're fatter at the bottom just like they are at the top, but these aren't. So I'm putting it on its side, and you can see I'm slicing out here like this. And you can see I left the white pithy part behind. And then I come around, and now I can see the pithy part, so it's even easier. And we come around again. Usually I got to go around 4 times. Sometimes only 3. I'm left with one little sliver here this time. And if you're being super conservative, you can cut up the top part too and cut the bottom up, but I'm not feeling that conservative today, so I'm just putting that in my trash. And we got a couple little seeds in here because I cut it pretty close to the edge. But see how cool that is? I don't remember where I first saw that, but I've been doing it that way for years now, and it's pretty easy. Pretty nice. I'll also mention I bought a new knife the last time I went to Walmart on Black Friday, because I'd had another knife like this. Different brand. This is a Cuisinart. Basically exactly the same though, same size and everything. And I had reached the point where I felt like I was sawing through things instead of cutting them. So I think I'm going to do about one more piece of this. And part of the reason I chose the orange one, by the way, because I knew I wasn't going to use the whole thing, that's about all I'm going to use, is that this will end up in scrambled eggs with mushrooms and sun-dried tomatoes. And if I had any greens, they would go in too, but I don't, so no greens for me. So I'm going ahead and cutting this up so that it's ready for the scrambled egg dish. And this is one way to make sure that I eat what I'm intending to eat, because there won't be any prep work involved in it. So I'm going to grab a little bag to put my leftover peppers in. And I guess I'll mention this too, guys. When I lived in a house and my primary shopping was at Costco, I always bought the Ziploc brand freezer bags, because buying them at Costco was pretty inexpensive compared to buying them in Walmart or the grocery store. So now see, these are all ready for my scrambled eggs when I get to them. All right, so what do we want next? Let's get that corn drained. And I guess I'll also mention, part of the reason I'm doing this today is I've got a empty yogurt container, which means that things like draining the corn aren't going to be messy to deal with, because I got a lid to put on it. So I won't be dumping that mess down my sink. I don't dump food scraps down my sink at all. And have you ever seen, are you familiar with this kind of can opener? So basically what happens is, it's going around the edge of the can. I've been all the way around. Now I'm going to use this part to grab the lid. And as you can see, focus, there we go. I don't have a cut edge here that's sharp. So I love this kind of can opener. I've been using them for years. Super, super simple. Now, ideally, you would be doing this with frozen corn or shoe-pegged corn. This is fire-roasted corn, which I think will be good as well. So I want to get almost all the juice out of that. Now I'm starting to get a few of the pieces of corn out of it. Let's dump the corn in. And I have no idea yet if I'm going to end up needing to add a second can of black beans. I've got one on standby in case I do. Let's go ahead and give this a stir. I don't know exactly why, but I love this shape of a spoon. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to put the second can of black beans in here. Looks pretty good so far, though, doesn't it? You don't get a second demonstration on the black beans, though, because it's a zip top, whatever you call it. Personally, I don't see any reason to rinse the beans. I'm just draining off the majority of the liquid. You may have heard this from using chickpeas. Basically, they call it aquafaba. The water that's in the bean can, there's nothing wrong with it. The biggest issue with it is that you get more salt content when you leave the juice in. So I'm not going to put any salt in the dressing until I taste it, and then I'll add salt after the fact. Yeah, see, that looks better, doesn't it? That looks like a better ratio. And basically, I'm making salad for camp because I can't fit this bowl in my refrigerator. Worst case, I'll store it in a Ziploc bag if I have to. So, here's some onions. I'm going to take out a handful of onions here. And I'm just going to chop my slices a little bit. I've been making pickled onions lately and really enjoying that. Ow, I just cut myself on that knife. It's a very sharp knife. Got myself on my paring knife the other day. Just kind of stuck it in my finger, yep. You can see that's starting to bleed. I'll be right back. I just spent a few minutes going through my canned goods, and I thought I had fire-roasted canned tomatoes, but I don't. So I'm using beets instead, and you're going to say, wait a minute, beets and tomatoes are not really very closely related, and no, they're not. But I think beets will be a perfectly fine combination with everything else I've got going on here. So I'm just chopping them up a little bit. These were sliced beets, not pickled, just sliced. Some people like beets, some people don't. I do, obviously, or I wouldn't have them in my kitchen. They are messy, of course, because everything they touch, they stain. And so once I get them chopped up and in here, I'm going to wash off my cutting board and my fingers before they have a chance to kind of permanently stain. And I'm just cutting the slices into quarters. And when I drained these, it filled up my yogurt container pretty full. And in fact, didn't quite get all of it drained. So I ended up dumping it into one of the other cans. So part of what I love about things like this is a combination of fresh stuff and canned stuff, right? And you're probably getting an idea of why it is that this is going to be enough to feed the entire camp. This would be a great potluck dish. Don't throw beets on the floor. Or at least make sure you pick them up right away. And pardon me while I wipe the beet juice up off the floor, because, yeah, that could be ugly. Alright, so we almost got our beets cut up. And I have to tell you, I really am enjoying having a new knife. I think the other one was more than 10 years old, and possibly quite a bit more than 10 years old. Alright, we got that part done. And normally I don't waste water for rinsing, but I guess I'm going to this time. And this is how I do it, guys. The first thing I'm doing is wiping all this juice off, because I don't want that all going down my drain. Why is that important to me? Well, the biggest reason it's important to me is that one of the big reasons is that my gray tank leaks. It's got a crack in it. And so after it gets about a quarter of the way full, it drips out. Oops. And I haven't been able to find anybody to fix it so far. So eventually, I might find somebody to fix it. But until that happens, we're just living with this. Alright, so we got some carrots here. And I don't love carrots, so I'm going to cut them fairly small. And kind of almost like I'm slicing them, right? So I'm basically making carrot coins. Now, you can use any kind of beans you want to here. And in fact, I got a can of what's called tricolor beans, and I forget what's in them. I was thinking I would use them for chili, but they probably would have been perfectly fine in here. And I may look at this and decide to add a can of garbanzo beans too. And then the other thing that I will say is I'm using canned beans because it's convenient, but I actually have probably 10 different varieties of dry beans that I could have cooked in the Instant Pot and then used. And frequently I do that. I'll make batches of beans in the Instant Pot and then use them for a variety of different things. But I didn't feel like doing that this time. So we're going to stir this up again. And you'll notice I'm really not doing any measuring. What I'm doing is kind of looking to see how I feel about the way that the color combinations are working. You know, does it look like I got enough carrots yet? And I'm going to think not quite. I'm disappointed that I don't have any tomatoes though, so I think I'm going to walk around and see if I can find tomatoes from anybody before I start making the dressing. Oh, I've got a big can of tomatoes, which will be more than I need for this, but I might have to open that. Do a couple more carrots. And here's another trick. I'm doing this right after I ate breakfast so that I'm not hungry trying to get food made, and so that when I put the dressing on, it'll have a chance to marinate together. I think I'll close this before I start dumping salad into my drawer. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. I do. Now, I'm actually going to taste it and see if I really think it needs tomatoes still. Nope. I think that's good. What do you think? Does that look delicious? Does to me. All right, let me put the carrots and stuff away and get things out for the dressing. Next up, I forgot about the avocados. So, I'm going to cut one up and put it in a salad, and the other one is going to become dressing, part of the dressing. Okay, let's see if I can do this without doing injury to myself. If I were smart, I'd get a different knife out. I don't know how you do this, but this is how I'm doing this. And then I make cross hatches. And because this knife is so big and so sharp, I'm going to get a spoon to scoop it out of here. Most of the time I just do it with the knife, but I'm afraid I will do injury to myself that way. And that would not be wisdom, would it? Alright, so we're just going to scrape all these nice cut pieces out of here. Just like this. So there's our avocado shell. Doesn't that look nice? Nice and neat and clean. And then we're going to get the core out. Now the other thing that I have learned to get the core off of the knife is to take the avocado half, wrap it around the core, and then pull it off. That has saved me from cutting myself. And I do have an avocado slicer. I don't know why I didn't bother to get it out for this, but that would give me nice even slices. And then it also scoops it out of the shell pretty neatly. But this is working. And having already cut myself on this knife today, I am being a little extra careful. So thanks for your patience. And we're going to scrape out this half, just like that. And then we're going to kind of mix this in. Now, if I were not making an avocado-based dressing, I would probably go ahead and cut up the other one just to get some more avocado in here. But since the dressing is going to be avocado-based, I think that'll be just fine. So I got my blender cup right here. And we're going to set that there, which is almost out of frame for you, I think. So just like that. And you know, I already went to the trash once today on our morning walk, but I might have to go again. Because I've opened all these cans and stuff. I've made a lot of trash here today. Might be an excuse for a trike ride. What do you think? I like the trike rides. So this time I'm just going to scoop it out. Just like that. Get all that creamy goodness out of there. And since I don't care about trying to keep it neat, I'm just kind of scooping the seed out of here. Of course, the problem is, got a little meat along with that I didn't intend to. And yes, after I cut myself on the knife, I got the bleeding stopped and washed my hands. So I'm not contributing blood to the salad, or the salad dressing in this case. Okay, so we're going to do avocado. We're going to do Greek yogurt. I need to get the rest of this off of my hand though. There's a paper towel. So we're going to add some Greek yogurt. Let's get this a little closer to you. Just like that. Yeah. And I need to finish this yogurt by New Year's. Now this is Fage yogurt. And it has the date on top of the top cover that I'm going to rip off and throw away. So I always write the date on top of the lid. Now, truth is I don't really care about dates very much, but just to give me an idea. Made with milk from non-GMO fed cows. Well, that's a start. That's a start. Alright. And I don't know how long it took me to realize. I mean, I think I realized on the first container of this that I did. But see, it's got this little cover on top. Get down there a little bit. That you have to peel back. So that's a little more than a half a cup, I think. That'll work. Get that in there. And then the other thing I want to do is kind of smash the yogurt back down so I can get the cover right back over the yogurt, and that helps to keep it fresh and keep it from separating. So when I get some other brand that doesn't have that kind of cover, I put a piece of wax paper on and do that instead. Alright, so we got that. Got some lime juice here. Let me shake this up. I don't have any fresh limes. That would be better, but that's not what we have. So we got some lime juice in there. Now I'm going to see if I can smell it. Yes. Because if I couldn't smell it, I'd add more. Just saying. And we're going to move the salad itself out of the way over here. And when I say over here, that means it's now sitting on my bed. Yep. So I can get the blender in here and plug it in. And we're going to add a few seasonings to this. So far, we've got avocado, we've got yogurt, we've got... I've had this battery-operated pepper mill for, looks like this, for years now. And I really like it. I mean, on the one hand, you would say, oh, well, how hard is it to actually grind your pepper? And the answer is not terribly hard. I'm putting a little salt in. That's about less than half a teaspoon. And I'll probably end up needing to add a little bit more. I've got some garlic powder here. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon. 3/4 of a teaspoon. You see how well I like to measure, right? I think you guys already know that. I got some smoked paprika. I'm going to add probably about 1/3 of a teaspoon. Get back in there. About like that. You're taking note of all these precise measurements, right? Because as I have said over and over and over, the only time precision really matters is when you're doing baking. If you're not baking, it's really not a big deal. And then we got some cumin. Sorry. And we're going to put in about a half a teaspoon. Maybe a touch more. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon or so of maple syrup. Not to make it sweet, but because it blends well with the acidity of the lime juice. And now we are ready to blend this up and see how we did. And I don't really know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just making stuff up, okay? Just so you know. Alright, okay, 2 things. That's a lot more dressing than I need. Wonder if I can freeze it. And I'm going to add a little water to it to thin it down because it won't even pour. So that's about a tablespoon or so of water, and I'm going to taste this actually. Oh my, that's yummy. Alright, it might be more than I need, but I might use it all anyway. So let's put this back on the blender. I love this blender. Do we need more water? It's still pretty thick, and you can see we haven't quite blended in here. But let's see what we got when we take the lid off. It's still pretty thick. We should be better blended now. You want to come over for dinner? That is really freaking good. We're going to add just a little bit more water. That's about another tablespoon or so, maybe a tablespoon and a half. I don't want to make it super thin. I want to make it thin enough that I'm sure I'll be able to get the entire salad coated. And I'm going to try pulse this time. See if I can get that other little part blended in. Now I think we're where we want to be. Still pretty thick. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm just looking for excuses to taste test. Alright, let me get the blender out of the way temporarily. And oh, by the way, guys, this is a tiny kitchen, and when I say get it out of the way, I'm putting it in the bedroom. In fact, I'm putting it on the bed. Now I'm going to retrieve the salad bowl from the bed so that we can get the dressing on. How about that? I'm going to start by scraping it off of this part, off of the blade assembly. That was good. Pay no attention to me dumping the blade assembly into the salad bowl. And I'm not going to scrape out the entire container onto here right off the bat. because I don't want it to be like super gloppy or anything. So I'm going to put most of it in and then mix it. All right, that actually looks pretty good to me now. Let's see how this whole thing tastes. Try and get some of everything. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's really good, guys. All right, I got leftover dressing, which I'm going to do something with, and I'm not quite sure what, but I'll put that in a small container and save it. I'm going to start walking around camp with my big bowl to see who I can talk into taking some salad off my hands, because it's more than I can handle. All right, tribe, that's today's black bean corn salad. If you enjoyed cooking along with me, how about a thumbs up? And of course, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing. If you try it, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.